next question involves the hospital we're in and other healthcare facilities like it. How would you work to promote the healthcare industry as a job creator in the community economy?
Well, the first thing I would do would would dialogue with those who deal with the health industry about how we can recruit more persons to work, provide better services, to take advantage of the Medicaid bill that was just passed by the state legislature, signed by our governor, but also, and I've already begun this, talk about how we can get some type of major medical facility for 100,000 plus people that live in South Phoenix. People, seconds make a difference. And people now in South Phoenix, south of the river, have to go either to 92nd Street in Thomas or go to Tempe, St. Luke Hospital, or across the river just to get medical attention in an emergency. That must be changed, and the health industry must help us to do that.
Well, I think the key to getting more people employed in the health industry is obviously, as this pastor was talking about, is to get a hospital down there. But that's not going to help if you don't have people trained. I think what we really need to do is reach out to the college system, the Maricopa County community college system, and see about getting programs where people in South Phoenix can get trained to be an LPN, RN. That's what we need is education. I mean, you can say that we're going to have a hospital, and that doesn't mean anybody from South Phoenix is going to get employed. Because they don't have the training, they don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the education to work there. So I think education is the key. I mean, if you're going to talk about how we get people employed in the hospital industry, first of all, you got to get them educated. You got to educate them on how to be a nurse, how to be a PA, how to be an RN. That's the key, education as it relates to healthcare.
I agree with my friend Mr. Rodriguez here. We need to provide the dollars for the job training programs, and we need to provide the promise that we're going to make sure that our kids graduate from 12th grade. And we've got a jewel of the community college system located right in the heart of the city. I see it every day when I drive by it. The South Mountain Community College is one of the most efficient and productive job training centers that we have in the city, and they can train more healthcare providers. But on the subject of the hospital coming to South Phoenix, if you look at the industry, it isn't creating gigantic hospitals anymore. I mean, we're not looking for a huge hospital. What's happening in the industry? You can look at the Dignity Healthcare Center going up in the West Valley. These are 25, 40 bed centers max. That's what we should be specifically targeting for Levine. And we should also be looking at the Jesse Owens Plaza to really bring back the healthcare that used to be, frankly, right in the heart of South Phoenix, off of Baseline. When we look at really looking at infill and opportunities where we already have the infrastructure, then we can build upon that and promote things that are already going really well in the South Side.
It is wonderful to be here at St. Luke's, which is part of the biomedical campus, which will have a $2.1 billion impact on our economy. So we're talking serious jobs here. It's been wonderful to see the city of Phoenix as an important partner on that. So that's one of the things that will be a major priority of mine. But working in economic development, I know that we've been losing jobs because we don't have good lab space in our community. And so when we have great ideas at places like TGen, we need to make sure that those entrepreneurs have a place to be and to develop those products so that we can have those high-wage jobs here in the community. And we have great opportunities in places like the warehouse district where there is space, and we can work with people in the community to make sure we have spaces for these biomedical jobs. I'm also very excited about the U of A medical campus and having a medical school in downtown Phoenix. I want to continue to support that. And we do need more health services of all kinds in South Phoenix, including resources, diagnostic centers, opportunities to help people who have autism, and some services for our older residents.
Our next round of questions, and it occurs to me it's not quite fair to have either Kate or Stewart always going first on one or the other question. So hand the mic down to Lawrence Robinson. Okay. Our next question also healthcare related. The Discovery Triangle has identified this area as a potential match for light rail expansion because of the need for economic opportunities and revitalization. How would you work with businesses and the community to explore bringing light rail to this neighborhood?
Well, light rail is not just great for sustainability and because it offers another green option for travel to get cars off our street. It's a social justice question. And it's a social justice question because our communities of working class residents and our communities that have to commute from the far-flung parts of our district, they deserve the option to have light rail. But you can't stop at light rail. We always talk about light rail, but you need to talk about the fact that you can go into neighborhoods in our district that don't have shade cover at their bus stops. They don't even necessarily have chairs. You can go up and down 16th Street and you can see just a pole in the ground that works as a bus stop. Why do our residents not have shade and seating when many of them are senior citizens or single mothers that other parts of our city do? But even go further than that, it's connecting it to the fact that many of our neighborhoods don't even have sidewalks to get to those bus stops. So it's all about connectivity. You need to connect bike lanes to bus stops, to sidewalks, to light rail. And when you do that, it's not only going to provide transportation options and help our environment, but it's going to get the economy going again in our district.
Well, light rail is problematic. I think we really have to look at the cost and see how the benefit versus the cost. Now, I agree that we need more infrastructure and we need to get people to and from South Phoenix and other parts of the city. I don't know that necessarily a light rail is the absolute answer. Everybody likes to say it looks cool and it's really sleek and it's really nice. But there are some consequences to having light rail. One of those consequences is property values. Property values usually go up. And once you put light rail right down central into the heart of the South Phoenix area, a lot of people are going to lose their houses because they can't pay their taxes anymore. So if you're going to do light rail, one of the big things you have to look at is how do you take care of people? How do you take care of the people that are going to be displaced by light rail? Not because light rail needs their eminent domain is going to be used on it, but because they won't be able to afford their houses anymore. It happens in every place that light rail's been put in, from Seattle to Portland. And that's something that we really have to look at.
In discussions with Congressman Ed Pastor and other experts in rapid transportation, light rail is coming to South Phoenix. And so we look forward. But even if the money is funded today, it will be 7 to 8 years. And so in the meantime, we need to work on rapid transportation buses that can get people back and forth. My daughter has to walk 1.5 miles every day to catch a bus and live in South Phoenix. And that ought not be so. That ought not be so. There is an equity when it comes to transportation. But the light rail, and I agree with Mr. Rodriguez, we need to talk with the businesses along Central Avenue to see where they are, see how they feel and how they will be affected by the building of light rail. But I would dare say that it is almost a given that light rail will be coming to South Phoenix.
Very excited to see light rail coming to South Phoenix, but we have a long way to go. There's a long series of votes at the city council level, at the Maricopa County level, and even at the state level. So we definitely need someone representing District 7 and 8 on the city council who's willing to work with all of those bodies of government and has the experience to make sure we do that as quickly and efficiently as possible. I think the question was really addressing light rail coming to this location. And I'm one of the two leaders of the 10-year plan for the city of Phoenix. So we are more focused on South Phoenix first because we're here on Van Buren, very near to the light rail on Washington. So we just need to make sure that the existing light rail system is more usable for the people in the community. We've done a lot of things that I think are short-sighted. So we've built light rail without bicycle lanes. And it's clear that bicycle lanes make it easier for people to get to light rail from further away, because you want to have as many people as possible have access. So I'd love to see us invest in more infrastructure around light rail to help it succeed, including more housing on light rail.
Now, would you please pass the mic down to Luis Rodriguez? We're going to go first. And this will be our final question from the chambers, Luke, and then we'll get to your questions from the audience. Mr. Rodriguez. We've heard all four of you at some length in this opening round. Can you summarize what you think are the most significant differences between you and your opponents?
Well, one of the significant differences is, I guess, that I'm not really a politician. I don't know if that's a difference, but it's certainly something that is distinctive of myself. You know, they all have different experiences, mostly here in the community. She's worked in government for a very long time, and so has Mr. Robinson. Obviously, Mr. Stewart has a church in South Phoenix. I'm an Army veteran, and so all I do is, all I did in 25 years was solve problems. I don't know how to solve them without looking at the data and looking deep in to see how things work and what are the consequences and what's going to happen if you take the wrong step. So I think that my history in the Army as an analyst, working on very, very tough problems and trying to find the right solution is where I'm distinguished from my fellow candidates here.
I have served in this community for 36 years now, and so I bring experienced leadership, I bring a sense of community, common sense leadership, and collaboration working together with people. I've worked with every mayor since I arrived in 1977 here. I've served on commissions from 1977 until just recently. I was on the committee to interview candidates for the new police chief. So my record speaks for me. I have served this community, and I will continue to serve this community. And this is not something, I'm not trying to make a name for myself. I'm not trying to go up the ladder of success. I want to continue to be a servant leader, as I've been, and serve and meet the needs of people. I get up every morning, as I said, to fight for justice, to do right by people. And I guarantee you there will be a voice of justice on the city council once I'm elected.
I think there are two things that separate me, my experience and my passion for the issues. So I've been the most involved with the city in terms of developing policies and have led on a variety of issues, including making our streets safer for pedestrians, bicyclists, people using mobility aids, safer paths to school, which is a huge issue in our district. You know, we've had several students hit near high schools. We have several elementary schools where there's major traffic and safety issues. And we really need someone who cares about infrastructure and the issues that cities do. So I've spent my time volunteering with the city of Phoenix, learning the issues. I'm also passionate about economic development and how that unique business experience, which is so important given so many of the challenges facing our district, where we don't have all of the employers where we need, where we have enormous vacant lots, where we should be having high-wage employers. And I understand the investments we need to make in the infrastructure, in telecommunications, power and water, to make sure we get those high-wage employers in our community.
The thing that separates my campaign, I believe, from the others is that we are keeping it focused on you. And it's not really about necessarily the differences in candidacies or the ideas that, frankly, most of us share, but it's actually about doing something different. And if you've been noticing, our team that's been knocking on doors, many of them are here, our team that's been motivated for actually the last 3 years to try to change the face of this district has been succeeding. We've increased the voter output. We've increased coalitions. Heck, we've brought families together in this district who are elected now. I see some of them sitting in the audience who haven't been on the same side in years. Because the fact is that we can always have policy discussions, but unless you're implementing it to do what's right for people, then you're not going to succeed, and we'll continue on the merry-go-round of leadership in District 8 that isn't authentically connected to the people. But the biggest possible difference, and I've hit upon it before, is that I am the only candidate, again, to 100% call for the 100% funding of our vital city services, whether that be our after-school programs, our senior centers, South Mountain Community Library, the things that really make this city livable and make it a city that is worthwhile for all of its residents and works for our working class communities. Until we work to promote and protect those services, the least among us are not going to be represented in the city.
And Mr. Robinson, if you could hold on to the mic. Wow. No, we're going to give each head. Oh, heads is on the end.
All right,
Start
let's try to be fair.
Trying to keep it out.
I'll take the mic. We're already doing coalitions.